I was born in Australia, but my parents moved to France when I was 5,
Yeah.
and we lived we lived in Bordeaux, but we were always either at the beach or at the in a forest close by.
Yeah.
So I was always kind of cruising in nature. So it was pretty fun.
What would you say sparked your passion for photography?
I think it was surf because basically around 13, 14, I got really into surfing. It just got, kind of was my passion. And so I started looking at buying surfing magazines. And I thought the magazines were just the most beautiful magazines on the planet because it's just beautiful photos in nature, waves, lineups, portraits of guys, lifestyle, and yeah, so it's basically that. And also my photographer, my uncle was a location scout photographer in California, and I would look up to him that what he was doing. He was always traveling the world, shooting on various shoots. So that also kind of pushed me into photography.
So, when did you really see that turning point in your career and decided to go all in with it?
I'm sorry, it broke up there
Oh,
for a bit.
what would you say was like the turning point in your career, and when did you really dive all into it?
Okay, well, basically, I wasn't sure when I finished my degree in France, which is around 17, 18. I went to Australia to university because I didn't think I could make a living out of photography. Um, so I started to study to be a French teacher in Australia. And so I did a BA, but I kept on taking pictures and and started sending to magazines and brands, and I just saw that everything I would take, everything I would shoot, there was a lot of interest. I would get published, and I could see that the surf industry and what I was into was kind of exploding. So after my BA, I kind of stopped my studies and just tried to become a professional. And basically, I managed to get some jobs straight off and work straight away.
Who's your favorite surfer?
Andy Irons was probably one of my favorite surfers. Back then, it was Shane Horan. Um, and now, I don't know, probably John John.
Have you seen any of Chris Burkhart's work in that cold water surfing? Those guys are nuts.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been following Chris since the start. We did a trip together here on a body surfing movie maybe 10 years ago. And he was just starting out, and I've followed him since. And yeah, he's done a great job of doing something different. Going out, and shooting all the cold water stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm the tropics, and he's more the cold.
yeah, for sure. No, those are some gnarly things. I can't imagine jumping into that cold water like that. But back to you. What would you say are some of your favorite things about the outdoors?
Just reconnecting with nature. It's something that I kind of need. I mean, I've never been a big fan of big cities. I can only last maybe a day or two in a big city. And I'm just more comfortable being in the nature. By myself or with friends, and just yeah, soaking up whatever's around.
What would you say started your passion for the ocean per se? And like, because I think on your Instagram bio it says ocean ambassador. So what?
Yeah, I mean, I've always grown up. I was born next to the ocean. I always lived next to the ocean and spent a lot of time next to the ocean. And the ocean is just something I need to be. I mean, I love the mountain. I love to go into the mountain. But if I had to choose, I'll definitely live close to the ocean. And it's just something that as I said, reconnects you with nature even more, because when you're in the ocean swimming, I mean, you're just or surfing or in a tube, you can't be closer to nature than that. You're
Definitely.
immersed in the whole thing.
So I saw one of your photos on your Instagram. I don't know if it was you or someone else, but swimming next to a whale. What's going through your mind when you're that close to it?
Well, the first times it's impressive. I mean, it's a bit scary, but you soon realize that they know exactly where you are. They are friendly, and the fear goes away, and you just, I kind of concentrate on my photos and forget about, if is there any risk or something like that. And I mean, honestly, it's one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. Just having something so big and so gentle and so close to you in the water in their element. It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Have you ever had any sketchy situations happen while doing it, or while either scuba diving, surfing?
I've had plenty of sketchy situations in the ocean. On boats close to waves. Being turned over by waves in a boat, losing your gear. Stuff like that. I haven't had any any situations around whales or sharks or stuff like that. But definitely, yeah, in waves, I've been knocked out by on a boat maybe 3 times with all my gear, and also swimming, taking pictures in the waves. I've hit the reef, hit my head. I'm taken my water housing in the head. I've had a few, yeah, and maybe a situation when I nearly drowned in Hawaii when I was young. Also, was a bit sketchy.
What would you say is one of your most significant memories while in the outdoors?
I'm sorry that cut up again.
One of your most significant memories while in the outdoors.
Um, Well, just I've had so many. I've been lucky enough to travel and to do trips all over the place. But I guess probably when you connect with something like whales or just amazing sunset or rainbow, there's just so many little magical moments that happen, that everything comes together, and you're just in awe of nature, and you just, it's just a total show. It could be even a lightning show. Last year, spent 3 hours on the beach just looking at a lightning show. It was crazy. So there's a lot of trippy, crazy things that can happen in nature that just leave you speechless.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that. What's your favorite thing to photograph?
Waves, underwater animals, and yeah, lightning. Just powerful, powerful things of nature. So obviously a whale is probably one of the most whale dolphins. They're pretty powerful, and the way they can move around in their element. Waves, because huge waves is just amazing when you can see them close by and see the energy that comes out of them. And things like volcanoes and and storms, just the powerful elements that in nature that kind of show you that you're just a little tiny thing, and nature can kill you easily just like that.
Definitely, definitely. What message do you hope to convey through your photography and art?
Yeah, just trying to make people realize that nature's beautiful and nature needs to be protected. And through my photos, I just hope they have a bit more respect, a bit more passion, and spend more time in nature, and try and move out of the city life, and just yeah, just be more careful of how they live, and try and be less have a lesser impact on our planet Earth.
Do you think we'll get environmental issues under control? Like, where would you say you see us in the future, humanity as a whole? I know it's a it's a tough one, but
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, yeah, it looks like we're totally screwed right now.
yeah,
But
it does. It does.
I definitely think there's some hope. Just the other day, I was watching a movie, and it was a scene in London in the 1960s, and there was so much fog, so much pollution that people could not move for a couple of weeks. They could not see 2 feet in front of them in a city like London,
Oh my god.
and that made me realize that in fact there's less pollution now than there was in 1960. So I think things are dramatic, but we are getting better. Technology is getting better at polluting less, and I think there's some hope that we'll find cleaner energies that will help us pollute less. I think plastic is the biggest problem right now. We need to find something else to replace plastic. That's for sure.
Throughout your lifetime, would you say you have seen personally like significant changes in marine wildlife? Being someone who's always lived so close to the ocean, have you seen that firsthand?
Not really, but for me, from what I see firsthand, is worse. That's why I was kind of stoked when I saw that movie to see that. Well, in fact, there are things that are that are better. But obviously, when I go to the beach now, there's more pollution now than there was, when I was young.
Yeah.
And everywhere I go, there's more houses, more buildings, more everything, more tourists. So in my life every day, it looks worse, but I think I'm not sure that that's the case. It could be better in certain areas.
Yeah, definitely. So would you say plastics are probably the biggest threat to marine wildlife?
Yeah, plastics and yeah, plastic definitely one of the biggest one, and then just our lifestyle also. I mean, when you look at it, most polluting things is the meat industry, the all the pesticides, and just overpopulation. Basically. So there's it's sad to say, but we got to find ways to to have less kids, to eat less meat, and to be have more plant-based regimes, and yeah, and you find something to replace plastics. There's I think those are the three main, and obviously use less fossil fuels. But yeah, those are the four main things I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's like we don't really like to talk about it, but the reality is that we live in an earth that's overpopulated, we're over consuming, and we're taking more than we can put back.
We're definitely way too much, and it's something. It's funny because you never hear that in all these conversations that the demographics. I think that's one of the major problems. And you never really hear about that in all these issues. But I think there's certain countries like in Africa where they or in Asia, certain countries where they have to kind of limit the population. We just can't keep growing like that as a race. It's just our planet's not big enough.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm a pretty big space advocate. Obviously, like it's you're thinking pretty well out into the future, but as humans, I mean, we've always been, whether it's you capturing action sports or whatnot, we like to do what nothing has been done before, and it seems like it's inevitable that one day we might expand outward, but we do got to take care of our home, you know.
Yeah.
And so, what would you say? Like, what trip stands out most to you, or like has changed you the most? Like, really opened your eyes.
um, on this specific issue of pollution and
Or more
or
so,
just my life in
I'd say
general.
let's do each of them. You can answer both of them if you have one.
Well, obviously, I've had some amazing trips. I've met some people and and seen population live totally different in ways totally different than our lifestyle. That's always a wake up call. But I've had trips also where there's been accidents and people have died, and that really impacts your life, obviously, because you kind of think of everything you've gone through and what you do in life, and you recenters your priorities, I guess. Um, but yeah, honestly, I've done so many trips. There's none that really sticks out
Yeah.
like that.
So, what would you say you want to be remembered for when people look back on you?
What remembered for?
Yeah.
Just being a yes, someone that make people travel, through my photography and help and like the ocean and be maybe more knowledgeable about light. Try to understand better how light works on nature. On the ocean, on how light comes in and just makes things beautiful. Basically my photography. I like to shoot a lot of different things. The main thing is that it's got to have beautiful light, and it's got to be beautiful in itself. That's kind of my what I like shooting. I'll be hopeless as a war photographer or as a photo journalist in a city, shooting action of stuff like that. That's just not my thing.
What do you think we as humans going out in nature, what do you think we can learn from it?
Everything. I mean, everything's right there in nature. I mean, for me, nature is the most important thing. It's life in itself. It explains everything. And all the explanations are there.
What's your favorite animal and why?
Um, on land, I'd say my dog because it is so cool to hang with, and
Yeah.
it's
What's his name?
and but out in the ocean, yeah, I mean, whales are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I must say they're um, yeah, pretty inspiring to go and hang with a whale.
I can't imagine that feeling of just getting to look at one and seeing how massive they are. I mean, I've been scuba diving. We saw some sharks, but no whales, man. That's
But
definitely on the bucket list.
but on the other hand, I think I would love to be, if I could choose, I probably want to be a bird. Like, I mean, to be able to to just cruise around and or even a bird that can go underwater. One of those kingfishers or something. I mean, how cool is that to just be able to travel and see everything from above and go and plunge in the water also.
No, that would be sweet. And they go on migrations too. Like I can't imagine that's a
Yeah,
whole
they
adventure.
travel like crazy, crazy. Yeah.
No, that would be nuts. Well, I kind of got a lot of the things that I wanted to talk about. Would you say there's any message or anything you'd want to tell people?
Sorry, that cut up again.
What I got through most of the questions I kind of wanted to ask you, and I was kind of wondering if there's any message you would like to tell people or anything else you might have to say.
Well, just encourage people to work with all these associations that try and protect the environment. If everybody does their little thing, they can, you can make big things. So just want to encourage people to go out and have fun in nature, respect it, and then try and in their way to try and help and limit our impact on the earth.
That's true. Like you said, going out and really building that appreciation for it, I think is so important for people. Like in order to actually care about it, you need to see beauty in it, and that's why I think outdoor sports are so important, especially in my life. It's like if I didn't love going snowboarding, going surfing, scuba diving, I feel like my connection to nature might not be as strong, you know?
Yeah, I mean, sport is definitely the best way. I think. I mean, that's how I got connected, to nature the most. I think yeah, sports. Plus, it's good on all levels. Keeps you healthy and connects you with nature. Well, most sports. Some
Yeah.
some are not as environmentally friendly, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Well, thank you so much for doing this. This was like amazing. I really wanted to talk to you, and I remember just looking through your photos and just being blown away, especially about that I mean, that photo you shot of the whale and seeing, was that you or was that someone else next to it?
No, it's someone else. I shot the picture, and it's my friend who was the first guy to do whale watching in Moorea, like 20 years ago. That shot's probably 10, 12 years old. Now there's so many whale operations and tourists that come down, but back in the day it was like just him and another guy. And yeah, he's got a connection with whales, amazing. Like he can nearly speak to them, play with them, and I still try and hook up with him when I want to go and try do whale watching. He's got a really cool connection with those
Where was that photo
animals.
taken?
That was actually taken in the channel between Tahiti and Moorea,
Okay.
and it was the most amazing connection. The mother was so cool. It's one of the biggest whales we've ever seen here in French Polynesia, and she had the baby, the calf, and she was so cool. Usually, they dive 20 meters and sleep for 20 minutes, and then they come up and they do that all the time. And the mum was so cool that she wanted her calf to keep playing with us. So instead of going down to sleep at 20 meters, she stayed at 5 meters. So the calf wouldn't come down with her and just played. So and we actually spent 4 hours straight with the two whales. Like they
Wow.
would just stay there and play with us, and it was like one of those magic moments that only happens, every 10 years. And I was so stoked to be there.
Dude, that is sick. So when you say play with you, is it kind of just like swimming down? Like, are you actually touching it, or are you just super close to it?
No, you're interacting, moving close, moving out, and you can take positions with your body, and they'll imitate you. It's crazy, and you think sometimes they come close to you and they're gonna you're a little bit scared they're gonna hit you, but it just comes by like and misses you by a few centimeters, but they know exactly where you are. It's like crazy.
That's nuts. So they must be, they're pretty intelligent then, huh? Because I know dolphins are one of the smartest animals, if not the, but I don't know too much about whales.
I think they're pretty. I mean, they're not as much as dolphins. I think the most intelligent are orcas, but I
Okay.
think whales are still pretty up there. They're definitely in the top 10 of intelligent animals, I think.
Yeah, especially if they're mirroring you, you know?
Yeah.
Well, thank you again. I can't thank you enough for doing this conversation. It really was so inspiring just to hear your story, and especially about that whale and whatnot. I can't imagine. Like again, I just can't imagine putting myself in that scenario. I mean, I've been face to face with a lion, and that's one of the craziest things. I was in the Masai Mara, and I just remember when it looked me directly in the eyes, I was like, "We're in their world right now. Like this is not."
Yeah, yeah, we're nothing. We're just, they can snap us in 2 seconds. Yeah, it's just humbling. It's humbling experiences.
No, it really is. Thank you so much.